This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino. Rain and storms are back in the forecast. Working for you, we're getting right to Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory, helping you prepare for what's ahead. Kevin.
And Amanda, they're in the forecast, but they're not in the state yet. It will be a quiet early overnight. The showers and thunderstorms in Missouri and then fading away in Illinois. Our overall chance will continue to increase over the next 12 hours. 72, it's warm, but it's not too humid. It still feels great out there. 68 up in Peru as we go through the overnight. 1 o'clock in the morning, isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, a few more, especially southern half of the state at 3 a.m. Then at 7 a.m., isolated shower or thunderstorm. I think we'll wait until tomorrow afternoon for the most widespread showers and thunderstorms, and the more intense thunderstorms could see half an inch to an inch of rain during the day tomorrow. I'll have more on your Wednesday timeline coming up.
Hundreds of buildings and homes were damaged by the EF2 tornado that slammed Madison County and Pendleton last week. RTV6's Graham Hunter shows you that the town is not letting damage and the ongoing cleanup get in the way of one of their most important summer events.
Folks in Pendleton are moving forward, and they're sending a clear message. They're doing it together starting here tonight, the June Jamboree, in spite of the fact that there are sobering reminders everywhere. Debris litters the ground, and just across the street from the festivities, you can see trees that were snapped in half by that EF2 tornado that came through 1 week ago, but the community is whole. Just a few blocks away from the fairgrounds that host the June Jamboree, Steve Barkdale hasn't yet had time to rest.
My friends and neighbors, family, has done all the work on my property.
Friends like Darren Lawyer.
I just help them, good friend of ours, clean up from the mess.
Because it's just what they do.
Pendleton's always been that way. I mean, you know, we all come together in times of need.
After what happened?
All of a sudden it got really, really dark and the wind picked up.
Barkdale was home with his wife when the tornado hit.
And the minute it was all over with, come outside and look at all the damage, and a lot of damage.
That tornado left a lot of work behind for the folks who live in Pendleton. But Tuesday night, it was time for everyone to take a well-earned break.
And I think it's a good thing for the town of Pendleton to kind of reunite again and get this off their back a little bit.
At the June Jamboree.
I'll go down and have a K-burger, but I don't ride any rides.
But some do, as smiles return to faces for the first time in a while.
Some people get caught up in the event right away, and the adrenaline is running, and 3, 4, 5 days later, everything lets down, and the emotions just take over.
That's what brings Don Billy down. He's a pastor and chaplain and works with community organizations active in disaster. He helps counsel people through the stressful event of a natural disaster.
This is normal now. This is something that says life is going to go on, and that's so significant in the lives of the people that have been impacted.
Folks can also sign up to report damage. That information will go to a long-term recovery group. City and county officials started the work of forming Tuesday morning. The group's primary goal will be to help people affected by the tornado that were uninsured or underinsured when it hit.
It just goes to show you the strength of Pendleton, and nothing's going to get us down, and we're going to persevere and get through anything.
Reporting from Pendleton, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Graham, thank you. And city and county officials will meet again Friday to discuss the next steps in creating the area's long-term recovery group. Shingles flying off of homes. Could it happen to you? Call 6 Investigates has heard from homeowners in Avon and Noblesville who say their homes built by a company called Baser lose shingles during high winds. Stephanie Bame and her neighbors want Baser to pay for new roofs, saying the shingles were not installed properly. Stephanie has filed multiple claims with Baser, but says the shingles keep coming off.
I think within the first year, we started having problems, and they came out and they fix it and they patch it or whatever, but it's 9 times now that it's been patched.
And Beezer tells RTV6, quote, "We understand and regret that some of our homeowners have been frustrated that shingles have blown off their roofs during extreme wind events," end quote. And the company says they've responded quickly and completely to homeowners' claims and will continue to do so. You can read the full response in this story on the RTV6 app. And if you have a problem and feel like you have nowhere else to turn, contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. Undercover video of animal cruelty captured at a popular farm in northwest Indiana is under review. Now, the abuse is so disturbing, we are not going to show it to you. These are images from the video at Fair Oaks Farms. A witness saw employees throwing, kicking, and stabbing calves. Some workers are also accused of shooting sick and injured cows improperly, causing hours of pain and suffering before dying. Fair Oaks produces dairy products for the Fairlife Milk brand. Now, the farm is also a popular tourist attraction. It offers tours of dairy operations to visitors and student field trips. The founder of Fair Oaks Farms released a statement saying in part, quote, "As a veterinarian whose life and work is dedicated to the care, comfort, and safety of all animals, this has affected me deeply. I am disappointed for not being aware of this kind of awful treatment occurring, and I take full responsibility for what has happened." And you could read the full statement by going to the RTV6 app and clicking on this story. The future of a central Indiana petting zoo could be decided tomorrow. Kathleen Bowen owns the attraction called Zoopolis. The more than 100 animals from 40 different species will walk right up to you. Bowen says the animals are well taken care of.
What I want people to realize, these animals aren't being forced to do anything, okay? They're doing it on their own. Showed you a minute ago, I had the hose and the alpaca comes right over so I can hose him down, okay? Nobody forced him, did it on his own.
Right now, the zoo is in Bartholomew County. Bowen wants to move it to her larger 5-acre property in Brown County. In order to do that, she needs approval from county commissioners to change the zoning of the land. We spoke to officials about the issue as they prepare for a vote tomorrow.
One of the concerns is we don't really address exotic animals in our animal control ordinance. And that is something that we will be looking at in the future, regardless of how this goes tomorrow.
I think it's a win for Brown County as well. Is it a huge economic win? No. But it's a nice little business that you've got a lady that's extremely passionate about what she does, and she's providing a great service to kids, because those are the ones that are really going to benefit from this.
RTV6 will be at tomorrow's meeting. Look for the latest on the news at noon in the RTV6 app. Unsupervised probation and counseling. That's the sentence for a Howard County woman who admitted to leaving a racist letter on a neighbor's door. Today, 63-year-old Deborah Cantwell pled guilty to criminal mischief and harassment. We first told you about the case in October. Police say Cantwell left the note after a family with an African-American son moved into a neighborhood in Greentown. And new at 11, investigators now say someone set a fire that killed 3 dogs and injured a woman. The fire happened yesterday at a home on Melrose Avenue on the west side. The Wayne Township Fire Department says officials are waiting to speak to the woman who was on the scene. She was taken to the hospital in serious condition. A dog that survived the fire was taken to a veterinary hospital for treatment. Well, a nonprofit group from the Near East Side is celebrating tonight. 10 days ago, someone stole $20,000 worth of their supplies. But today, thanks to the community's generosity, they were able to pull together their first free summer play event of the year.
A couple days ago, we didn't know if this thing was even going to happen.
Andrew Neal is the director of Brookside Community Play, an organization that provides safe community fun for Brookside neighbors during the summer months. Co-director Natalia Blondette was one of the many who were shocked to find out that their trailer full of athletic equipment and giveaway items was stolen while parked in a church parking lot.
It's one thing when something's taken, but when it's taken from a church and then on top of that something that impacts children, it was really heartbreaking.
This Near East Side community responded in a powerful way, quickly stepping up and restocking the program's stolen items, turning that heartbreak into overwhelming gratitude.
We've been blown away by the number of supporters who've come out and organized everything from ball drives to, bring in balloons and prizes for the kids that we can give away. The donations that have come in have really blessed us, and so our eyes were really open to what the Indianapolis community is all about.
The GoFundMe that was started raised a couple $1,000s in literally less than 24 hours, and so it was just amazing to just see how the community just comes together.
Camille Clayton is one of the many volunteers for the Brookside Community Play program. The GoFundMe goal was to raise $4,500, and it already surpassed that.
Knowing that there was something taken, but at the same time, it doesn't matter to a degree. Do you know what I mean? That we're still going to keep on, we're still going to love, we're still going to be here, and we're still going to encourage one another.
And this summer will be Brookside Community Play's 4th year. They're always looking for new volunteers, so you can find more info at theindychannel.com.
Rain chances going up here the next several days. It's about the timing. We'll get into the timing of your Wednesday thunderstorms coming up.
Walmart is making changes to attract high schoolers. The benefits now being offered to students who may need help paying for college.
We miss our children every day, and there's nothing that's going to bring them back.
And the man who was supposed to protect students at Stoneman Douglas High School now faces criminal charges. Parents whose children died in the attack are reacting to the decision. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
For sandwiches.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Metro Police are asking for your help identifying the man and woman in this picture. Investigators say the couple used a stolen credit card hours after the card was taken from a home during a break-in. This is surveillance image from the Champs store in Lafayette Square Mall, where they tried to use that card. If you have information, you can report it anonymously at 317-262-TIPS. The school resource officer who was on duty during the school massacre in Parkland, Florida, now faces charges for not helping save lives. ABC's Andrea Fuji has the latest.
17 children and staff were killed at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida last year when a gunman stormed the school. And now the man who was the school resource officer at the time has been arrested for not confronting the shooter. The Florida state attorney says former Broward Sheriff's Deputy Scott Peterson was fired and now faces 11 criminal charges in connection with his lack of response to the situation. Investigators say Peterson refused to investigate the source of the gunshots, retreated during the active shooting, and directed other law enforcement who arrived to stay 500 feet away from the building. In an NBC interview last year, Peterson questioned his actions.
I mean, knowing what I know today, I would have been in that building in a heartbeat.
Peterson's arrest comes after a 15-month investigation into the actions of law enforcement following the shooting. Another deputy was also fired for his inaction. Peterson's charges include child neglect and culpable negligence. If convicted, he faces nearly 100 years in prison. In New York, Andrea Fuji, ABC News.
And new tonight, several parents who lost children in the attack are weighing in on the charges.
He needs to go to jail, and he needs to serve a lifetime in prison for not going in that day and taking down the threat, and that led to the death of our loved ones. And he needs to be held accountable for his lack of action that day.
We're pleased to see again some accountability for this tragedy that took the life of my daughter and 16 other wonderful people.
Peterson faces child neglect, negligence, and perjury charges. Bail is set at $102,000. A murder suspect in Indianapolis is off the streets tonight. Police arrested 25-year-old Hassler Ruslan in connection to the death of Daniel Gator. Employees of a business on Kitley Avenue found Gator's body last Wednesday just before 8:30 in the morning. Ruslan is charged with murder. And tonight, we now know the name of the man found dead in the White River. 52-year-old Terrence Williams was last seen on May 25th floating alongside his capsized canoe near the 16th Street Dam. His body was recovered from the water Sunday in Morgan County. The preliminary cause of death is drowning. Now to hiring Hoosiers, an RTV6 commitment dedicated to connecting you to different career opportunities. Walmart is offering a major new incentive to attract workers, tuition assistance. It's expanding its $1 per day college benefit to current and high school students who are employees. The company will also offer providing free SAT and ACT prep. Students who go through the program while they work at Walmart will be eligible for several different types of bachelor's and associate's degrees. And tonight, we know more about the types of jobs a new manufacturer will bring to Johnson County. Today, California Custom Fruits and Flavors broke ground on a facility in Greenwood. The company makes fruit and flavor ingredients for dairy, bakery, beverage, and other products. Jobs include managers, factory lead, sanitation workers, quality control associate, administrative associate, manufacturing associates, and material handlers.
This area is building up, and it's going to bring in some very high-quality jobs, very good-paying jobs. For this place, it's going to be between 20 to $25 an hour starting for some of them, up to $50 and $60 an hour for some of the more technical jobs.
The company is investing $11 million to build the new facility. It is expected to open by 2023. Several major roads in Indianapolis are getting repaved to help get rid of potholes, but bumpy streets are still a constant problem for many drivers.
Well, you see, I drive a truck, so it's very bumpy, very bumpy. It's bumpy truck, but it's even worse with the alleys.
Well, there are more than 5,600 open pothole requests in Indianapolis. More than 2,000 of those are in alleys around the city. For some drivers, there's no getting around those potholes. People who live in the Christian Park neighborhood on the east side have to drive down alleys to access their garages or parking spots.
The city doesn't care. I've complained and complained and complained and taken months to do something. Sometimes it don't get done.
We took those concerns to the city. The Department of Public Works says crews patch potholes on major roads and residential streets first. Alleys are addressed after those requests are complete, but officials tell us they are looking into the issue at Christian Park. And they say if you're dealing with a similar problem, report them to the Mayor's Action Center. That number is 327-4MAC. I feel like now you just learn the roads and which ways to kind of veer off of those potholes.
Hey, at least we're done with the freezing and thawing cycle for a while. Did you see the sunset? I'd give it a five-star rating.
It was beautiful.
It was awesome. Here it is. This is looking west from the Salesforce Tower. And it even gave White River an orange glow there for a while. Perfect. I like it when you have a few clouds on the horizon during sunset. It just kind of gives everything a little more character. That led to a perfect view of the space station flyover. I hope you had a chance to get out and see that. We were telling you about that all evening. Well, any showers or thunder showers will be hit and miss through the night. There's a couple about ready to enter northwest Indiana. I think they'll expand through the overnight. The severe weather threat is low. Much greater chance storms will be strong to severe tomorrow afternoon and evening. In the 60s, upper 60s to the east of Indianapolis, in the western portion of the state, 75 in Terre Haute. Indianapolis 3 degrees cooler right now. Next 3 days, this is where we're headed. 82 tomorrow with thunderstorms likely. The rain chances diminish as we get to Thursday and Friday. Through the day tomorrow, persistent chance for rain, but I think lower late morning into early afternoon, then will come up in the afternoon hours when we start to warm things up. Lafayette to Muncie South, slight risk for severe storms. Main threats with damaging wind and large hail. Heavy rainfall would accompany any of the thunderstorms as well. Tomorrow, rain chance way up here. It drops for Thursday, Friday before coming back up again as we go to the weekend. Rainfall potential, you know how these thunderstorms work. You can get this amount of rain in an hour's period of time. With some of these in general, I just wanted to show you, could see half an inch to an inch of rain, and it should be fairly widespread by the time we get to late tomorrow night. As we go through the day Wednesday, not much at 1 o'clock. We see pop-up thunderstorms forming at 4. They're kind of scattered. You begin to see a line forming, though, just north of Terre Haute to Crawfordsville, toward Tipton and Muncie. That at 7 o'clock. 9 o'clock coming through the metro area. This may have some severe storms with it, with the damaging wind threat and the heavy rainfall. That will move away by this time tomorrow night, and we'll get into a drier stretch at least for Thursday. Tomorrow's highs, low 80s. Again, may get cut off the afternoon heating by the developing thunderstorms after around 4. There are your temperatures in the metro area. As you look at your 7-day planner, Thursday, Friday, rain chances lower, but they come back up as we head into the weekend. Temperatures stayed the same in the low 80s, but those thunderstorm chances there Saturday, Sunday, even Monday before a dry day Tuesday.
A rainy weekend.
We lose perspective. That's kind of normal right now because occasionally we'll get 90 degrees and hot and humid already. So we'll ease our way into it right now. Excellent. Colts getting some work done today. In fact, they'll have a lot of work to get done over the course of this week and next. One important player still missing. An update on that, plus a recap of the rest of your Tuesday coming up.
At Zaxby's.
And a good Tuesday evening, everyone. Thanks for staying up with us. The Colts have already spent ample time dealing with injuries this spring. Today we found out that 7th-round draft pick Javon Henderson will miss the season with a torn ACL. He had signed his rookie contract just a month ago. Next week we'll see who's ready to go for minicamp. As for today, the final round of voluntary OTAs, Coach Frank Reich says he's been impressed with the turnout from his guys. He credits GM Chris Ballard with getting players here that like to practice. And they'll have plenty of time to do that in the weeks ahead. As for quarterback Andrew Luck, out again this week with that calf injury. So back next week for that mandatory minicamp, maybe. If not, though, the coach doesn't seem too concerned.
I'm hoping he's going to be out there next week. I had a conversation with him the other day before this week when we made the decision, hey, no. And so just playing it out, he and I sat there and said, if this plays out that we don't take a snap, it's okay. It's not a earth-shattering. It's not a big news story as far as what we're doing as a team and what we're doing offensively.
That mandatory minicamp is 3 days next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. After that, it will be the big training camp starting the last week of July up in Westfield. The Pacers continue their pre-draft workouts tomorrow. On the court will be one player who is very familiar to local fans and another who could be the tallest player in the league. First of note, IU grad Juwan Morgan. He finished up his 4 years with the Hoosiers, scoring more than 1,300 points in his career, twice an all-conference selection. Actually gave some thought to the draft a year ago, but Juwan ultimately came back for his senior season. At 6'8", 230 pounds, maybe a little bit more, he certainly has the body for an NBA roster. Speaking of bodies, 7'7" center Taco Fall will be here tomorrow. The young man from Senegal just finished up his senior year at the University of Central Florida. This is the third time he's declared for the draft. Started all 32 games for UCF this past season. The Indians start the month of June with the best record in the International League. A huge part of that success has been away from Victory Field. 10 wins in their last 11 road games heading into tonight at Louisville. It was the Bats, though. The home team got the fast start in this one. Brian O'Grady with his 15th home run of the season. That was in the first inning as Louisville jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Jung-Ho Kang continues playing well on a rehab assignment with the Indians. 4 hits tonight. He had 3 RBI. Got a pair of them here. Indians rallied back to get within a run. But then in the 9th, trying to finish that rally, a sharp grounder to first starts a double play, and that would eventually finish at 7-6. Louisville wins it. By the way, we're taking a road trip to see the Indians tomorrow night. We'll be live in Louisville at 6, and we'll have a recap of that final game of the series for you on the news at 11. Connor Daly's getting another IndyCar drive. He'll be in the number 59 car for Carlin Racing at Texas this weekend. He will be subbing for Max Chilton. Daly finished a career-best 10th in the Indy 500 last weekend. Chilton has said he will not race any of the remaining oval events in the 59 car this season. And opening night of USAC's Indiana Midget Week. Logan Seavey, the winner of the feature at Montpelier Speedway, the defending national midget champ, started the A-Main on pole after he won his heat race earlier in the evening. Tanner Thorson and Zeb Wise on the podium. Round number 2 will be at Gas City Speedway coming up tomorrow night. Also tomorrow night, Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Warriors and the Raptors tied at 1-1, so we'll be on right about now.
Yeah, this is what time we'll be.
After that's there. So
on air, so stay tuned.
You bet.
All right, we'll be right back.
We're even there.
Well, starting tomorrow bright and early, you can practice your tree poses along the water. Sunrise Yoga returns to the canal in downtown Indianapolis. People of all fitness levels are invited to participate in the free morning yoga sessions. They start at 6 a.m. on the Vermont Street Plaza and will be held every Wednesday through August 28th. The classes are BYOYM. Bring your own mat. What were you going to say, Kevin?
Bring your own umbrella? No, I don't think tomorrow.
Well, we need it tomorrow.
They'll be scattered. Yeah, it won't.
That would be an impressive yoga pose with
There's
an umbrella.
There's an oak tree, I think, right there.
Okay.
Solid oak.